That's pretty good.
Welcome back to the podcast. That was a very highly planned out intro sounds for this week. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight we're doing something a little different. We're drinking some mixed drinks tonight. So let's go
Only
around and
took
say,
us 4 weeks of talking about it to actually do it.
yeah. So let's go around and say what the drink is and also like what's in it and how you made it. I think that's kind of fun.
Okay.
So I'll go first. I'm drinking a Moscow Mule, one of my favorite mixed drinks. It is
Not
pretty
in
simple.
a copper cup though.
I know we don't have any copper cups, but it's just lime juice, vodka, and ginger beer. So it's very tasty, very easy, and I love it.
Very nice.
I'm Joseph the Grand Champ, and I'm drinking an old fashioned. So it's just sugar, bitters, and I'm using rye whiskey. And I used lemon bitters because you're supposed to add like lemon peel, but I wasn't about to buy a fucking lemon, so.
Technically, for rye, you're supposed to use an orange peel, and then for bourbon, you use a lemon peel. But
It's not you're supposed to. It's that the taste, the flavors combo better, but it's not like it isn't an old fashioned anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Whatever.
It's whatever.
You guys are a lot more prepared than I am because I'm in Marquette right now, so I just stole whatever liquor Patty had and whatever mixer she had. So I'm drinking gin and apple cider.
Cider boy.
Cider boy strikes again.
I would call it subpar. Like I would definitely take a beer over this.
But I want to
like-
point out to the audience that the gin is from one of those little hotel bottles
Yeah,
of gin.
it's like we got it at a gas station a couple weekends ago. It's a
Yikes.
Seagram's. That's how you know it's quality.
Cider
feel
boy
like
making his return.
Gin.
It was
does
it was
not-
either apple cider or Coke. Like that doesn't mix with gin at all.
I feel like neither of those mix with gin really well.
No, they don't. But I'm a little underprepared, as you can
You should
tell.
have just had straight gin, honestly. I know we said mixed drinks, but
Just
I would
like
okay with
taking the
just straight
shot
gin.
at like the beginning of the
given the
episode.
options.
Yeah, I called it good.
Yeah, I don't even like gin that much.
I'm not a fan. I don't like the juniper in it, personally.
I like gin.
And I am Dayton, and I made a mint mojito.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Fancy.
I came up with the idea today. Well, actually, one of my coworkers said tequila, and then for some reason that made me think of mint mojito, even though mojitos are made with white rum.
I was gonna say it's not a tequila.
But yeah,
It's basically the same thing though.
sure. So yeah. Anyway, I mean it's spearmint leaves, some lime, some sugar, club soda, white rum, and ice. And yeah, it tastes pretty good. I mean, like for my first one, I can't really complain that it doesn't taste terrible. So
Nice.
yeah,
Did you like shake it or like what? How did you?
see?
were you
So
mix
like
it
you're
together?
you're supposed to like muddle it. You're supposed to have like a mortar and pestle,
pestle.
and like you really grind like the juices together. But I just used my spoon and I just kind of like jammed it in there really hard.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty
What's
good
that
alternative.
YouTube channel that does the videos for drinks that we watched?
Oh,
What's that
How
called?
to Drink.
Is that what it is?
That's the one I watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
that's
are
the
pretty
one
good.
that I've shown you. Yeah, he actually does a spearmint, or I don't know about spearmint, but he does a mojito. He has a whole episode on like the history of the old fashioned, which is where I got my like recipe of like, because he has like 6 different variations or however many. I picked one from there.
I have to watch more of his videos for Thanksgiving break to keep myself busy.
They're really interesting. He has like a couple long form videos. They're like 40 minutes long.
Oh,
but
geez.
it's like what is rum? And he just like goes through like the history of rum and like what all is in it and like how people make it, and I don't know, it was pretty interesting.
It's a really cool set too.
Yeah, and he does a lot of like pop culture drinks. So he just did one based on The Outer Worlds, which is a video game that
Oh,
just came
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah.
He's done ones on like old movies and
It's like a
he has-
Star Trek.
Yeah,
blue
Star
one.
Trek. He did one based on D&D, like Potion or whatever. He did just like a lot of pop culture stuff. It's really cool. So
I'm trying to think of when I first had a Moscow Mule, 'cause I remember I heard about it on YouTube because it's kind of one of the guys in Kinda Funny's favorite drinks. But I think I've had it first in South Dakota when I was with my friend Chris at SDSU. And we were going to a bar. I'm like, fuck it, give me a Moscow Mule. And I tried it. I'm like, this is amazing.
Gabe,
was
remember
those
those
before
mule beers that we got
Oh
that
my
one time?
god, those are awful. I see advertisements for that every now and again, and it's just like, why would you do that to yourself? It just
Well, that was like
shitty
the first time I
beer.
realized that I really liked ginger. Because growing up, I never really had ginger ale, and we didn't. There's no Vernors in Minnesota, so like, I
But
never
ginger
really,
ale, ginger ale tastes different than like ginger soda,
ginger
Yeah.
beer.
ginger beer, yeah, whatever it's called.
Actually,
Tastes-
no. I think. Hold the phone. I might have had ginger beer first in New Zealand because they had Bundaberg, which is from Australia. Yeah, no, yeah, no. I had ginger beer first in New Zealand, but I think I had Moscow Mule in the States. But yeah, I love ginger now.
Yeah,
Ginger is a weird
see,
flavor.
I'm the complete opposite. I hate ginger.
I know. That's why I don't know if I told this on the podcast, but I was telling you one time in Discord, like if I ever needed to torture Dayton, what I would do is I would strap him down to a chair and I have a
Oh.
bunch of like ginger chews that I eat, and just stuff like 20 in his mouth and just force him to eat them.
And then
He
you
would
eat one,
die.
but chew it really loudly.
Yeah, that
Those
that
things are
would do
potent.
me
They're
in.
really spicy.
That
That's
would do
kind
me
of
in.
how I
just
feel
fucking
about
die.
mint, though. I hate mint. Something
Dude.
about like the flavor of it just.
Hot take: mint fucking sucks.
Thank
Get the
you.
fuck out of here.
Thank
Get
you.
the fuck out of here. Mint is so good. Mint chocolate chip ice cream is the best
No,
flavor of
mint's
ice cream.
dog
Look at
shit.
that. 2 ingredients I don't like, so you know.
I know that you have a
am
lot of mint
hurt.
in your drink right now, Dayton, but I just don't like it. I don't know. Something about it just. I don't know. It tastes like pain.
When I
You
started,
can quote me on that one.
when
You don't
I
like the
started
cooling
working,
sensation?
No.
No,
It feels like a burning sensation for me. I don't know. I don't like
when I
it.
started work at my new job, they gave me like on like my desk like a bunch of weird I don't know like a mug and like some other stuff, but one of them was like Altoids mints. I think I've had like 2 of them, and it was because I was about to fall asleep at my desk, so I popped one in to like wake me up from the pain.
Can't wake up.
It woke me up inside. All right.
I mean, Joseph knows I'm addicted to York mints. Like, I
Yeah.
fucking love them so much. And like the
Every
mint
night
to
after
chocolate
dinner,
ratio.
he eats one.
Yeah. The mint to chocolate ratio is extremely delicate, but when you get it right, it's fucking amazing. I would say Andy's mints are fine, they're not ideal.
There's
Mint
too much
chocolate chip ice
chocolate in
cream.
them.
Exactly, Dayton. The mint chocolate chip ice cream I think hits the perfect sweet spot. And then the York mint is the best in candy form.
Yeah, I can't even eat those without
What about
like wincing.
what about junior mints, Jacob?
Oh, junior mints are some good shit, but I think they're a little bit too heavy on the mint side. I think there's not quite enough chocolate, but I mean, if you're at the movies, junior mints are a staple.
I've heard of people that freeze them and then eat them frozen.
Ooh, that'd be some good shit.
I have
Freezing
heard of
M&Ms is
that
really
too.
good too.
freezing Pop-Tarts? That's the way to do it.
That's
You lost
weird.
me on that one.
It's just something Josh started doing, and I was like, that's so dumb. He's like, try it. And now I understand. And then,
I can just imagine Josh in the kitchen like eating one. He's like, try it.
yeah.
As he's taking his bowl of frosting that he made out of the fridge and
probably.
eating it with a spoon.
You know how he's
Which-
got that smile where he's like, just try it.
Yeah.
Josh
sounds-
lives
that
in
sounds
this
like a-
week, so
That
hello,
sounds like a
Josh.
3 a.m. idea.
Yeah. Dude, last night, Josh, he's like hanging out upstairs. He's like, oh, I got a lab report due. And I'm like, when's it due? He's like, it's due at 7, but I'm watching Shroud play Apex, and he's really good. And I'm like, all right, well, you should probably get started. And he's like, I'll wait a little bit. I only have a little bit to go. And then he sends me a Snapchat, and he's like, it's like 4:30, and he's like, just a little bit more to go. I talked to him this morning. He was very tired.
That's some classic Josh shit.
I love Josh so much. Shout out to Josh. What were we
You know
talking
what?
about before this?
Oh,
Or
we're talking
like
I was talking about
mint.
freezing Pop-Tarts. That's where it
Oh
came
yeah.
from.
Okay, I was gonna ask, which flavor of Pop Tarts does he freeze?
He does anything from like chocolate to brown sugar and strawberry. The main 3. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna wonder. I'm like, is there a difference between doing like a fruit based to like a sugar based?
Honestly, I've done both, and I've liked them both pretty equally. I'd say the strawberry ones are the best, But
Aren't all Pop-Tarts sugar-based, though?
Yeah, honestly.
Well, you know what I mean. Like, I'm talking about brown sugar and cinnamon versus strawberry. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
but
Like,
there's still
no,
a lot of sugar
strawberries
in the
are healthy
strawberry.
for you, Joseph.
Yeah.
that thin layer of fruit in there, that'll get you your vitamins. for
That's
sure.
real fruit, too. That's
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah,
definitely
it's
real
made with
fruit.
real fruit.
You can,
It counts
you
as
can feel the
a
seeds.
serving, you know, serving of fruit.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I get 10 servings of fruit a day 'cause that's how many Pop-Tarts I eat.
Oh. It's so many.
Hashtag college logic.
Yeah. Back to the mint thing though, like I just hate it so much. Like even with like toothpaste, I can't do mint toothpaste. I have a cinnamon toothpaste, I can do that, but I
Cinnamon
can't do.
toothpaste is really good.
Yeah,
It's
I don't know.
the
Okay,
good
now,
but-
okay, there I'm the exact opposite. Cinnamon, I feel like it's burning, whereas mint, it's
No,
cooling.
it's really
Yeah.
not.
Because like
The-
hot tamales and shit, get the fuck out of here.
But
It's
alright?
not like a hot tamale. It's just like
It's
it's
not
like
like
even
you're
like
brushing your
cinnamon
teeth
gum.
with Fireball.
yeah.
Like, why would you want cinnamon gum over like a nice spearmint gum?
I don't know.
You know,
Okay,
to
I
me,
don't really
mint's
like
always-
spearmint though.
Okay, maybe not spearmint, but like a cobalt, a 5 cobalt. That's what
Yeah,
I always
that's
had.
dude. That's my
That was some
flavor.
good
That's
shit.
my
That's the
flavor.
good-
I've been
it's the best-
chewing that. Dude, I've been chewing that gum since 6th grade.
Yeah,
Jeez.
exactly.
That's the only kind of gum I chew.
5
Get
cobalt's
out.
the best. But like what I'm getting at here is like, because also like I feel like mint is associated with cleanliness because of like the toothpaste thing,
Maybe.
Fun
and
fact,
so
that was
I just
in
like feel
throwback
clean
the
and also
book
like
I
it's
read
cooling.
a couple months ago at this point, called The Power of Habit. They talked about how how I forget what company of toothpaste, but they like added that cooling factor, so like it actually felt quote unquote clean, and that's how like toothpaste became like popular, and like brushing your teeth became a popular thing within like the American
'Cause
household,
it
I
felt
guess.
good. Or
Because
felt
like you had
something was
that
done.
that tingly feeling, so like it felt clean, and so like people were more willing to do it, and like it became a habit because of that.
Mhm.
Super interesting. But
Makes
I
sense.
mean, you still like get that quote unquote tingly feeling from like other flavors. It's just yeah, I know. I've talked to someone else who mentioned that they had tried my like cinnamon, or I think I used to have citrus splash
Oh,
toothpaste.
that was my favorite one.
Dude,
and
it
they
tasted like-
discontinued it.
I know that it tasted like a creamsicle. It was
I remember
so good.
buying the last one I could find on Amazon, and I was just like, "This is it. I have to switch over." And I ended up having to go to the cinnamon side because that was the best one.
That was,
Hands
but
down.
they complained like, yeah, my teeth don't feel clean. I was like, fuck you, it tastes better than mint. I'm
Yeah.
not getting
Why are
it.
you why are you like tasting your toothpaste? Are you just like fucking squeezing half the tube in to brush your teeth?
It's in your mouth. How do you not taste it,
Okay, but like, I try not to taste
dude?
like
That's 4 minutes out of my day. 2 in the morning,
four.
2 in
Oh,
the
okay.
evening.
I was gonna say like, what in the fuck?
I want to enjoy all minutes of my day, and if I'm not enjoying 4, I need to change my life. All right.
God
All right.
damn. So
Constant happiness.
welcome back to the
alright?
podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram
Have you not
and
done
Twitter.
the intro yet? Holy
No, not
shit.
yet. We've been just bullshitting. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EWF Podcast. You can find new episodes every Monday on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. You know what? We were going to do a BuzzFeed quiz. I'm putting the kibosh on that because we're having a good discussion. And also, I want to bring up something I totally forgot to talk about quickly. Joseph and I went to go see Gus Johnson on Monday,
Oh, yeah.
and that was in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Dude,
I just
fuck
wanna talk about
that
that for a
town.
little
It was
It's
a garbage city.
Isn't it kind of
It's
small?
a yeah,
Yes.
it's a college town. It's like if Houghton was in Wisconsin, so like not as good, because there's no mountains or
'Cause it's
like
Wisconsin.
water. Yeah, but we drove down there, and the problem is like doors opened at 7, and we got there at 7, so we were like way in the back of the line. So we got literally like the last seats.
There
in the
were
in
no
the
seats
shitty bar.
behind us, and it
So, like,
wasn't. Yeah, sorry.
I don't know how to explain this for the audio listeners. But like so the stage. So imagine like a stage, right? In front of the stage, there's maybe 2 rows of people. It was mostly like tables, but imagine
Yeah.
like 2 rows of worth of people right in front of the stage. To the right of the stage, if you're on the stage, to the right was like a few more tables of like 6 tops of people, and then to the left of the stage was just rows of chairs like perpendicular to the side of the stage, and Justin and I were in the last row by the window. So we got a nice side view of Gus the entire time.
We got to see his eardrums really well. I'll tell
so
you
you
what.
got nosebleed seats, basically.
Well, it was
Yeah.
on the floor, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
This
it
isn't
was
a
in a
bar.
bar.
This is not like a theater.
Oh, it was just
or...
a bar. I was expecting it to be like an actual.
Yeah, no.
Like,
But
Is-
just what I said, if we went to Eau Claire, we'd be at this bar every fucking night. It had very much like the dog feels from Tech,
but bigger.
and we haven't had a bar like that in a
well,
while.
it
in
was like a
Minneapolis.
separate room.
Oh,
kind of
okay.
area. But yeah,
Yeah,
it
but,
was
like-
the bar area was about the same size as the dog. It didn't have as much seating, but the dog didn't have
We
much
missed that
seating
shitty
anyway,
bar
but-
feel because you can't really find a shitty bar in Minneapolis if you want to go to.
I mean, there are shitty bars, but
Like we don't want to go to them.
Yeah.
Don't want to
there's
die. but-
none of that hometown bar feel.
Yeah.
Gotta love
But
that.
the show was hilarious. I don't want to like go through all his jokes, obviously, but he did a great job. A really good mix of like comedy, jokes, and music and stuff. He had a really funny bit about apparently when he was in college, he like had to play with some kids that were like at a daycare center. On
The
campus.
daycare was like part of campus, and he like did promotional material for it. Like he made videos and stuff. Like
Yeah, so you like record the kids playing
Commercials.
and you play with them and stuff. And there's this one kid. What was his fucking name again, Joseph?
Titus.
Kitus. This kid named Kitus, who's a little demon.
With a name like that, though, I mean,
And it was really fucking funny. Like apparently, like he's like shit in the bookcase. And it's like because like how do you even do it? Because it was a clean shit. There was nothing around it. So either he shit separately and then put it in the bookcase, or he just stuck his butt all the way in the back.
Like in the back of a bookcase, like not in the front, but like the back of it. So you had to like climb back in there.
he parked it, dude.
Yeah, it was just a really fun show. He also had a bit where he like pretended that he was gonna propose to his girlfriend Sabrina, and like it turned out it's like because I thought it was real when he started because it was the last show on his tour. I'm like, is he actually gonna like propose to her? But he's like, he gets on one knee, and he's like, I've been hearing you eat those sun chips all fucking show. I told you to leave them in the car, you know. I don't know, it was shit like that. It was really fun, but it was good to see him live. Unfortunately, we had to leave and we couldn't stay for the meet and greet because somebody had to work on Tuesday at a reasonable time.
I got back an hour after my normal bedtime, and I was not happy.
Dude, why didn't you just like work more and then like go in late?
Because I didn't want to do that.
Okay.
You think
got my
Joseph's gonna
alarm
work
set.
more?
Yeah, and I couldn't leave later Monday because we had to get there, and
Yeah.
I've already worked pretty late most nights anyway. So
Fair enough.
Yeah, we wouldn't. If we would have stayed for the meet and greet, we would have got home at like 2 a.m. probably. So we got home at midnight. It was just it's gonna work out. But yeah, it was fun. I hope he does another tour so we can actually meet him. But
yeah,
was a good time.
overall. It was worth it, even being tired on Tuesday.
You're still
but it-
salty about it. You can hear it.
I mean,
well, we
a
had
little
to drive
bit.
an hour and a half to get there.
Yeah,
Was fine on the way home. And the way there was traffic was kind of shitty, but
yeah, because it was still like traffic on our way there. So
Oh,
rush hour.
right. That
But
makes
man,
sense.
I tell you what. First of all, the parking garage we parked in was under construction. So like the first two levels are like blocked off. And
it was
we're
a
like,
fucking haunted house, dude. Like this parking garage made no goddamn sense.
we're like, what the fuck is going on? And then we leave, and it only cost $1.50. And it was like,
We were there for
Really?
like 3 hours. But no, the funniest part was so we were leaving, and I was going really slow because like I was driving Joseph's car, and it was very narrow. Like it wasn't
And
like a
sharp
typical
turns.
parking garage where it was like, you know, you're up and down. It's like cars on either side of you. It was like a specific like lane that was like a ramp with like walls on either side. So it was kind of tight. So like I was going slow, and there's a car behind us kind of riding our ass a little bit, which is like whatever, you know. I was going slow. We get to the place to pay, and I'm there for literally like 2 seconds, and I hear a honk behind me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like I'm going as fast as I can, and then I hear a girl go, sorry, that was an accident. It's like, oh, okay. This is really funny because like we're in this like decrepit parking garage, and I'm getting honked at, and I'm like, what the fuck is going
we
on?
like the wheels just stopped moving on our car, and they honked. And we're like, what do you want from us? Like even if there's traffic, we haven't even looked to see if there's traffic yet. Like if
I
we
didn't even
could
finish
leave.
paying yet. It was oh god. It
You
was-
barely got
That's
the
funny that they
ticket inside the
apologized,
meter.
I know she's like yelled out the window like sorry. Like oh okay, we're good. But
Must have just accidentally hit it or whatever. But it's still so funny.
Accidentally
It was
punched her steering wheel.
well, like you figure like they must have been at the Gus Johnson show too, so it's like they're probably a decent person.
Yeah,
Oh,
they grew up
that
big
park in that
asshole.
shitty.
I mean, the entire
Parking
demographic was
garage.
all like college students, people our age. There
Mm.
was like a couple parents there, but
Right.
oh, and Sven was there too. That was cool. Get to see Sven on stage for a
Nice.
little bit. But yeah, it was a fun show.
Nice.
I want to talk about mixed drinks a little bit since we're all drinking them tonight, and I'm just curious at everyone's kind of interest level in mixed drinks, and like, cause I've like a year ago I was really interested in like I wanted to learn more about them, and then never did anything about it, like going to like fancy bars. Not like that we could in Houghton. There was just like the club and the dog, which the dog made good mixed drinks, but it wasn't like craft cocktails.
They made good rail drinks. I want to put
Yeah,
that
they made
out
good
there.
rail drinks that were reasonably priced.
Yeah.
But Joseph and I were talking about how like we kind of want to go to like a craft cocktail bar in Minneapolis to like get really good cocktails,
I
but
can
it's gonna be fucking expensive.
bring you to one in Holland.
There's one in Holland.
Yeah.
Is it the speakeasy?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Have I
just
taken
know
you,
Holland
Joseph?
so well. No, we've talked about going a lot though.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
Have you been, Dayton?
Yeah, I've been there a few times. It's pretty
Do
cool.
you like it? Like,
Yeah.
were the drinks like noticeably better than?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say so.
Well, like better than we made because we made vodka and whatever bullshit we could find in the fridge. So I mean, it doesn't take much to be better than that.
Hey, okay. I went out and I bought ingredients specifically for this.
So did I.
Yeah, same.
I
Gabe.
didn't.
I'm saying like
I
at school.
fucking drove down for my break. Fuck off.
I reminded you yesterday we're doing mixed drinks today.
There's
That's another
liquor
thing I have to
stores on
bring.
the way.
I have so much shit
Oh.
in my car.
You're telling me there's no liquor stores in Marquette? Get your shit together.
0.
But yeah, I'm just curious in everyone's kind of interest level in mixed drinks.
Well,
It's like a,
I definitely
culture and
started off
concept.
doing mixed drinks. It was vanilla Coke and raspberry Smirnoff.
That is so disgusting.
In retrospect, it was pretty fucking bad.
raspberry and vanilla do not typically go together in
They
flavors.
But that's what we would do. Me and Cooper. That was the drink of choice.
God, that's like it's literally like putting alcohol and then putting like 7 sugar cubes into a shot.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
pretty much.
what on earth, dude?
I don't know. I think it's kind of like a similar thing with you. It's like it's something that I would definitely be open to trying. It just, I don't know. I just figured out the beer thing. There's a lot of different, aspects and angles to it, and there isn't really
Did you get
a place.
shaker as like a grad present, Gabe?
I don't.
Did somebody get like a shaker?
I
It
do.
wasn't me.
I have
think
a
it was
shaker.
Oh,
Joseph,
Joseph did. Sorry.
I got one
couldn't
for
remember who it
Christmas.
was. Sorry to interrupt you.
But Gabe, I was gonna say, like, I remember your 21st birthday. We went out, or just after your 21st birthday, we went out, and we went to the club, and you're like, "What do I order?" And I was like, "I don't know. Ask the bartender what's good." Like,
They just like gave me rail drinks. They're like
yeah.
rum and Coke and whiskey sours. I was like, all right,
well, you had that vodka cranberry, which was really bad.
that was super
Do you
bad.
remember
How
that?
can you make a bad vodka cranberry? It's two ingredients.
Too much vodka,
It was
not
a-
enough
It was a
cranberry.
lot of vodka. It was a glass of vodka with a splash of cranberry.
And then
That means that you
had
got a
that
good
Sex
bang
on
for
the
your
Beach.
buck.
That was good.
Oh yeah. See,
That was a
I
good
haven't
drink.
really gotten many like mixed drinks since then, or like on occasions usually.
And that's one of those things too. You have to like know.
Right,
Like-
you have to know the names of them.
And like at a bar like that, like there's no menu usually. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's just one of the drinks that like people know, and so they
Or
make
like
it.
if
have
you
to
see
go
a
to
beer and it says IPA, you're like, kind of what to expect, right? Like you're like, all
Yeah.
right, this is gonna taste probably something like this. That's kind of what I'm feeling. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you need a lot more knowledge going in
Right.
for mixed drinks.
And you also
Whereas, like-
have to like the bartender needs to know.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's why you
And the
gotta go to,
bartender
like-
needs to know and be competent.
right. Yeah, you can definitely I've seen some bartenders who are like, "What's that?" and then they'll explain like, 2 parts this or whatever, and they totally fucking botch it anyways. And,
So bartenders can pour a beer, right?
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's definitely like I don't know. I don't think Houghton's the best place to like learn that type of thing. I think
No, definitely not.
it's definitely more geared towards beer, I think.
Well, because it's easier.
Yeah, yeah,
And it's still pretty dang good.
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Just throw the keg on the tap and don't put too much foam in it, and you're good. That's all you need.
Well, it's just interesting to me because like we were saying, yeah, it's a lot more knowledge required, right? And a lot more competency and a lot more equipment also. Like you need a lot more things. Even if you want to do it at home, like right, you need like a good shaker. You need like that. I don't know what it's called, but on one side it's 2 ounces, the other side it's 1 ounce.
It's called a jigger.
A
Bar
jigger, yeah.
You also need a lot more like, I don't know, ingredients. You know?
Yeah, some
Yeah,
beer,
limes.
you just crack it and you drink it.
Yeah. You need like bitters, lime juice, lemon juice, probably
What,
lime peels
dude?
and lemon peels.
That just reminded me of the birthday clip that I made you. Drink it. Problem solved. we should maybe post that. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know. I guess
explain
if
what it
Gabe's-
is, and then we'll maybe post
All
it.
right, yeah. So it was Gabe's birthday. I guess by the time this podcast goes out, it'll probably be like 2 weeks since
2
Gabe's
weeks,
birthday. But for his birthday, I went through a whole bunch of the old podcasts because I have all the old audio files, and I just listened to like 5 hours or more of just Gabe's track for the podcast.
That would make me go mad, dude.
So needless to say, I went a little bit crazy during it. But basically, I just took a whole bunch of like clips of Gabe just saying a whole bunch of stupid shit. And then I just made like this small like 2-minute narrative basically of Gabe just stringing
Splicing
together
it,
this
yeah.
this like random bullshit. And yeah, one of them was like, I can't, or how did it go? It's like something I don't see why people have so much problems like conceiving, or I made it something like that.
Yeah, something
and then he's
silly.
just like, he's like, it's this simple. Pick up a rock, drink it, problem solved. It sounds stupid, but when I was making that, I was laughing my ass off because I was going insane, and this was like a masterpiece to me.
Dude, when I saw that pop up on the Discord, I just saw .mp3 and I was like, oh god. I knew exactly what you did. Like, you fucking spliced all this shit together. And
Yeah, it took
you
a
said you
lot of
only
work.
went through like
Release
what,
that as a
3 or
special
4
episode.
episodes? Or you said 5, right? 5 episodes.
Well, I think I went through 5 or 6 actually, like after I looked back on it a little bit more.
You can say a lot of dumb shit in 5 episodes.
Yeah, you can.
Whoops.
Yeah, going back to the topic, I guess. I
Fuck
was
the
just thinking.
topic.
So I was thinking about like when you're in college, right? A mixed drink is like
A
usually
real
like some
drink.
sort of a rail with one mixer. So like probably like a rum and coke is a good example, right?
I say when you're underage, that's mostly what it is.
And when you're underage is what it is. And then you go to the bars and it's like a real drink. So it might be a little bit fancier, like a Tom Collins, or
New England or Long Island.
a
I
Long
can't-
Island iced tea, or a whiskey sour.
Yeah.
But a
Couple
lot of
more
times,
steps, but not much.
that they're made with like mixes, drink mixes, and it's just
Like pre-made
Fucking-
ones, right?
pre-made mixes, and they're just fucking garbage. And they don't taste great, and they make you feel like shit. 'cause
I'm
there's so
pretty
much
sure
sugar
the
in 'em.
dog uses Long Island mix. But
Probably.
it's still good.
Yeah,
What-
but like it's
I don't
it's way
think there
worse
is
for you,
Long
though.
Island mix.
Huh?
There is not Long Island mix. It's just
It's like 5 different drinks. Like
yeah,
five
it's,
different liquors,
it's
yeah.
vodka, rum.
Oh, okay. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel like I
whiskey, I
see them
think?
always like pour it from one thing.
Whiskey
No,
sour is
there's,
a good
like,
example, like sour
5
mix
different
instead of using,
liquors,
like,
and
a
then like
lemon.
Coke, and that's all a Long Island is. Like it's not. There's no iced tea, and it's just a fuck ton of liquor.
Well, the dog, you can get that big ass like bowl for like $5, and
Yeah,
that
the-
fucds you up.
that is a Long Island.
Yeah, I know. That's
They
what I'm
serve
saying.
it in.
the dog. I thought you meant the DT.
Oh,
You meant
no.
those-
No, that's the
those-
ambassador. The ambassador has fish bowls.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
ambassador has fish bowls, but the DT has pitchers, which are like Powerade. and
Oh, that shit's
Yeah.
garbage.
Vodka. Those were so bad.
Those gave me
Well,
a
I'm trying to-
stomach ache.
What I'm trying to get at here is like when you're in college or you're still like our age, like, and you go out, you get a mixed drink at a bar. It's typically something that can be made fast and tastes good enough.
Mhm.
You know, because like your only 2 real options at a bar are a mixed drink or a beer. Nobody's really ordering wine. Maybe there are more that I'm.
I know.
assuming,
I
but,
feel like it's because it's cheap. I think that's like why it's picked. Not because it's like quick and easy, but because it's cheap. You know?
I think it's a
I mean,
combination.
It could be
of the
both.
two.
It's a I mean, you have to be moving fast because you're losing money if you're not, selling drinks.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting so like yeah. So when you go to a bar and you're in college, you're drinking to get drunk. Usually, you're not drinking for taste. And so beer and mixed drinks are your best options because they can move them quick and they taste good enough usually, right? And then I would assume to some extent, some people when you get older, you want something that has a little bit more taste for some occasions. That could be like a craft beer, which granted we're all into, but like a craft cocktail, which is all fresh ingredients, or I guess like a wine that's really expensive. But like with craft cocktails, like they're way more expensive because of the ingredients, but they also like taste better. They're better for you because there's less garbage in them and sugar. But they also require a lot more competency from the bartender.
There's,
And like
there's an art to it, you know.
Yeah.
There's a skill, and yeah. So
there's a
that's
skill,
part
there's
of
a lot of science, and it's just like I want to be at the craft cocktail stage, but I don't have the money or the time to like be there right now.
it. Like make or drink craft cocktails.
Both. I mean, the money to either buy them at a bar or buy the equipment and to make it myself, or the time to learn, and the time to learn all the different drinks that I would want to possibly drink.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because we were saying before, like there's just so many options. I mean, just within one liquor category, like a vodka, there's a million drinks, and then rum and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just weird.
It is interesting. I find it really cool though, especially because that YouTuber we were talking about earlier, he after he makes the drink, he like talks about like the flavor, and like a lot of these higher end drinks have like an evolution to them. Like, you know, what you taste at first is gonna change, and like the more you let it sit in your mouth, like the flavors they change and like become something else. And he really goes into that, and it's really interesting. I find how like you drink a beer, and yeah, it might have a weird aftertaste or something, but you don't. It's like whatever you taste first is generally what's gonna stick with you. Like there's not that evolution that's what they refer to it as, which makes sense. But that's always one thing that I thought was interesting. It's just how like how much depth there can be to craft cocktails.
Yeah, I mean, like, I had a craft cocktail at the Speakeasy that was, I can't remember the liquor, but it had habanero something or another in it. And or maybe it was jalapeno. I don't know. It was some spicy pepper. And I just remember, like, tasting it and just being like, oh, like, this is pretty good. And then, like, after, like, I swallowed it, it was, like, super spicy. And I was just like, whoa, like, that's really cool. And, I mean, like, the drink costs, like, what, like, probably, like, $12 at like the minimum for like a small glass of it. But I mean, like, I'm not going to a speakeasy to get messed up. Like, I'm going to a speakeasy because it's cool. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was actually listening to a podcast where so they opened Galaxy's Edge, the Star Wars area at Disneyland recently.
Oh, is that
And they
actually
have
open?
Yeah, they have a cantina there, and they have a bunch of like Star Wars themed drinks.
Can
And
you buy
to make
death
them,
sticks?
I don't know, but they made the flavors kind of otherworldly flavors on purpose because it's Star Wars, you know. And they said there's this one drink called the Fuzzy Tauntaun, where they use this special kind of, I think it's a pepper, to make your lips go numb as you drink it. So like it's a really like unique experience. Everyone's like, dude, I'm addicted to these Fuzzy Tauntauns, man. I gotta keep having them because it's like apparently the feeling of like your lips going numb or like is really really cool. I don't know, but I think it's cool how like all those
you probably can't
flavors are
talk as
crafted.
well.
Yeah.
You probably end up like talking like really weirdly.
Makes you sound drunker than you are.
So they actually
not
serve
drunk.
alcohol there?
Yeah, in the canteen. I don't think you can bring anything outside there.
Okay. I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever
outside.
been like ever noticed besides like Epcot that you can get drinks.
They should
Yeah,
do. I
they
wish like
sell-
at the cantina they would do like a scene where someone who's dressed up as Han Solo would just like shoot. Who was it? Was that Greedo that he shoots?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every just like once
Just
a day.
casually.
They just
They,
do
they
that.
do they do scenes in there like if some like every once in a while like the bar will break and like smoke will start coming out, somebody has to go fix it, and like the person who like runs the bar is upstairs like yelling at people and stuff. Like
That's
I mean,
cool.
it's Disney, so they're really good about that stuff and the immersion. Aside
They
tangent,
play
you
the
can also
same cantina theme over and over again.
you can also build your own lightsaber there, and it's
Yeah.
I
like
heard about that.
$200. But apparently it's
How much
fucking
is it?
awesome. I think it's like $200.
Oof.
But those things are like apparently they're super durable. Like they're not gonna break, and
Yeah.
like they're really
Like,
high
you
quality.
could,
You pick
you
up every
could beat
part.
your friends over the head with them and they would be fine.
Exactly.
Dude,
Just get
that
some
Apparently,
freaking
Gabe,
steel
like every
rebar.
part that's in Jedi Fallen Order, you can like buy
Oh,
at
really?
the place. You could like make the same lightsaber you have in the new Star Wars game, like in real
Oh,
life.
really? That's clever.
Yeah.
I was gonna
So
say there's a band that shows up in Fallen Order that's very Cantina-esque. And
yeah.
that, like, when that was playing, like, oh, who am I gonna kill next? It's
Yeah,
just, it's a,
there's a really cool track.
it's a
I know
really
what you're
good
talking
song,
about.
but I
It's
feel
really
like I've
cool.
heard it somewhere else in Star Wars. I don't know. But it's just a very Star Wars-esque noise. It's not just the Cantina theme.
Yeah. Star Wars is cool, man.
I love Star
I've
Wars.
been watching a lot more Star Wars. Me and Joseph watching a lot more Star Wars.
Well, it's getting
content
to that
recently.
point of the year, though, you know? Like, they purposely do that, where the end of every year is Star Wars season.
Well, it's like The Mandalorian came out,
Yeah.
and Star Wars, the new Star Wars game, Jedi Fallen Order came out,
So
and the movie's coming out in December. So
Yeah.
it's like everyone's on the Star Wars hype train.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Like,
watched
we watched-
Rogue One the other day, and we watched Force Awakens.
Yeah,
the
I've
other
been
day,
watching
too.
clips of them on YouTube and stuff. And because the Clone Wars TV show's coming back early next year, I think.
Mhm.
I'm really excited for that because I got canceled early.
Yeah, I think I might actually watch a lot of it. Probably not every single arc, but I'll watch a good chunk.
Yeah,
Just
that
to
show's
get,
really
caught up.
weird
There-
because of how like it's split up.
Yeah, it's not sequential. It's very weird.
But it doesn't feel like it's not sequential.
Yeah, it doesn't,
Like,
yeah.
like if you watch it, like it doesn't feel broken up, but like if you look at it, you can really see that
Yeah.
it is. But
No, that show just like honestly saves the prequels. It does such a good job tying into. I mean, even to Fallen Order, it ties in really well. Like they go to Dathomir or whatever, and they explain a lot of things that happened from the show. I don't know. I just like how everything's kind of interconnected in that way.
mhm.
It's like the Marvel universe, everything's connected, and it just
Right.
it feels right, you know. It feels like it makes
It's
sense.
like characters meet each other and talk to each other all the time, but you might not know it if you don't watch or look at this one thing.
Speaking of that, another tangent, whatever. Disney Plus is out, and I love it. Joseph
Disney
and I,
Plus is the best thing to ever happen to me. Let me
we've been
tell ya.
watching the 1995 Star Wars, or not Star Wars, Spider-Man animated TV show, and it is the fucking best show ever made. I'm saying it right here live on
It
here.
is ridiculous the amount of content they pump into that 22-minute episode.
Dude, they
Let
do
me
not
tell ya.
slow down. Like, it is fucking moving for 22 minutes.
There is
But-
no exposition. You don't know what the fuck's happening. All of a sudden, Rhino's busting through the wall, Doc Ock's coming through the door, and Scorpion's coming at you. You don't know what's gonna happen next.
Scorpion
It's
sucks,
great.
by the way.
Yeah, Scorpion.
But the amount of crossovers in that show are fucking bonkers. Like, I watched an episode that had Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, War Machine, Doctor Strange, Dormammu, Baron Mordo, and Madam Web all in the same fucking episode. Like, are you kidding me right now?
Yeah,
Like, can we have that again, like, in today, please? It's fucking so cool.
that's wild.
But I mean, the show itself makes no fucking sense because there's just all this shit happening, and it's like the writing is garbage, but it's like it's cool. Like,
I would argue Spider-Man's dialogue's really good, but the plots are just like, what the fuck's going on?
yeah,
But it's really fun, anyway.
he that really captures the banter of Spider-Man. I think.
Yeah, all of his
really
little,
well.
like, jokes and quips and stuff. They
Mhm.
really nail it. All right, well, let's go into our next topic, which is coworkers and what you hate about them. So, Gabe brought this up. Hey, do you want to introduce it, Gabe?
Sure. I mean, I just talk about anything regarding coworkers as far as like what makes a coworker like good or like that works for you, like what makes them like I don't know a good coworker, I guess, and like what are some things that like make you not like the coworker? Because I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's dependent on each person. Or like some people may like a person who is more personable, and some people may not like that.
What are, like, the pros and cons? Are there good things and bad things?
Yeah.
I got one right off the bat, which I may have already said this episode, but I mentioned before that I had a guy who sat next to me at my internship who was like about 60 years old trying to do AutoCAD, like, you know, solid modeling, and he did not know what the fuck he was doing. And one thing that really annoyed me was he would always ask for help, and we never figure things out by himself. So he like made other people get involved and, like, you know, use up their time, which I just found really aggravating. It's like, first figure out yourself, and then you can, like, get help. But the worst thing was he literally clipped his toenails at his desk.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's like, I don't know how to respond to that. It's like, you can't do it. Like it's against the social contract, But like, I'm
Yeah,
not gonna tell him to
taking
stop.
your
He's fucking 60 years old.
your shoes and socks off at your desk, like around other people. What the
Like,
fuck is wrong with you?
Like just the audacity of that, right? Like I
He's got
would,
balls. I'll give him that.
I would never even think about doing that at my desk. Like, are you kidding me? Like when I go to work, I'm literally trying to be like a bother to as little people as possible, and just like
Exactly.
have my coworkers not even realize that I'm there.
Exactly.
And,
I
Like,
mean, to be fair, he wasn't bothering anybody specifically. I was happily sitting next to
that
him.
is
Like, what the fuck?
objectively gross and disgusting.
Oh yeah. How you're like, sometimes I need to clip my nails. The best time would probably be in the middle of the workday at my desk. I mean, that makes sense, right?
It's just that,
Like, I don't know. Like, it was raining. Well, this morning it was raining, so I wore a different pair of shoes to work. Like I have a pair of waterproof shoes. I didn't have to walk through puddles and ruin my nice shoes, right? And like I felt bad like having my shoe like switching shoes when I got to work. Like now my feet are out and they probably stink and like like or my shoes stink. It's like I already feel like that already feels weird, let alone clipping my toenails.
taking your socks off and then clipping your
Yeah.
toenails.
Yeah, that's oh god.
Yeah, it's just weird. But anyway, but what you said, Dayton, was totally rings true. Is like I want to be as little of a bother to anybody around me, and that goes. I also expect that from other coworkers. So it's like,
Yeah.
don't talk to me unless you really need to talk to me. Again, the same dude literally would like talk my ear off for like hours about like this painting he's doing or this video game he's making, and I'm like, dude, I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to do my work, and you're just literally just bullshitting about objectively nothing. And it's like I understand like I feel like I almost work. I'm like too like I don't know what the word is. I'm like too worried about like getting caught slacking off, and
You're
so
too
I always
much
want
of
to
a
be doing
hardo.
something. Yeah, and I know like people like sometimes just bullshit at work. Sometimes totally fine. I get it. I just have this like internal fear like I don't want to get caught slacking off. So like if you're talking to me, it better be about work shit. If it's not, get the fuck out of here. Like I don't want to talk to you. So
See, like when
I've become more and more okay with like just talking to people as I've gotten more comfortable at work.
Yeah, it's like
Like-
at first you definitely feel bad, but it's like I'm spending all day here. I can take 5 minutes out of my day to talk to the person at the desk next to me about something, and
Mhm. And like
Yeah.
everyone does it.
yeah.
Like literally everyone does it. Like even like my manager and like my director, like they all just shoot the shit. Like it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's literally
I
part
have
of
my
work.
manager come up, talk to me, and like ask me about my weekend or whatever, and it's like, okay, if he's talking to me about it, like obviously it's like obviously you don't want to spend like a day or like an hour
Mhm.
talking about nothing, but
Mhm.
a couple minutes.
I think it's
no-
I think you're totally right. I just need to soften up a little bit.
Well, I mean, it just takes time to get used to it. I mean, like for me, like so I've been working at my current place for what, like 5 months now, a little over 5 months.
yeah.
And like it took me probably until like last month to get like comfortable with like being okay with just like talking to like my coworkers about like non-work related things. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, like at my job now, like up here when I like repair computers, it's a really small business. So, and I've been there for a while, so it's very, very relaxed. Where like the owner will come in and we'll just talk while we work type of a thing. But the reason this kind of got brought up is I went to dinner with my boss a couple of days ago. We were just talking about like what makes a coworker like good for us. And like a big thing for me is one of my coworkers that I work with. I like him a lot, and we get along really well, and we can talk about pretty much whatever. But we also are like very collaborative, and I really like that. So there's a lot of times where I'll be working on something and I'll get like stuck, or like I think I know what's happening, but I'm not quite sure. I can just ask him like, "Hey, can you just take a look at this?" And then, or what do you think about this? And then he'll give me some like random idea I would have never have thought to try, and it helps. Or I can give him some random idea that he would have never have thought to try, and it works. And I know something about that atmosphere like really helps me be better at my job. even my boss, like, he respects my opinion a lot. So whenever I do, like, if I get stuck on something, he'll expect me to like already do something, but he'll give me a bunch of interesting perspectives on things, or I'll give him things. It's just kind of give and take, and I really like that.
Having your opinion respected is like so huge.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't have that right now because I'm the youngest person at the place I'm working by far.
Right.
Like everyone I work with is at least 50, if not
Say
60.
multiple decades.
See, I feel like you
Multiple
definitely
decades.
need to prove yourself, right? And that proving phase can last anywhere from like a month to years, Just depends at the
And
company.
I feel that at like in like my internship, I felt that a lot. But like at the job I'm at right now, it's very casual, so it's like I don't have to prove myself. I just get annoyed because I get treated like a kid all the time, and like oh, like you're the tech guy because you know technology better than we do. It's like, yeah, I mean I can help you with that, but like I don't like that you're like
You mean Windows?
pigeonholing me into this. Yeah. But the time thing is really weird to me sometimes, because sometimes the coworkers will say things and like, you can't say that, like please stop. And it's a generational thing, but like, they'll talk about back when they were younger, they would just drink and drive all the time because you get away with it. I'm just like,
Road pops.
all right. And
Road
then
pops.
there was literally one day where one of the guys was like, if like back in the day, if things would have been how they are now, I would have gone to jail for like sexual assault. The way I like treated like the women in my office, I was like,
Oh,
yikes,
God.
fucking yikes,
I think
dude.
that's true for so many people back in the
Yeah.
day. though.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying it's not true. It's like you don't have to say that to my face. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like,
true. It's like some things are just better off not said.
I don't want to hear that. I
So-
don't care if it's true or
like
not.
I guess I'm happy that you're aware of that, but also I don't like that you said it. And it's like he wasn't really saying it as like, oh, things are better in the old days. He wasn't really not saying that either, but it was just like,
A thing.
yeah.
See,
It's like,
on
this is kinda
the other
gross.
side of the token, the reason that I thought about this is there's a new person that got hired, and he just talks constantly, doesn't stop. But the topics that are okay to him are not okay to most people, let alone at work. And like I said, it's a very relaxed atmosphere. So like, you can swear and like do stuff like that because we're in the back and we're not like up towards customers or anything, and you can be more relaxed. But he'll just like, he's told me anything from his life insurance policy. That was an actual topic of conversation this week. He told me details on his life insurance policy and then his wife's, to literally complaining about his wife and being poor, and even like some very sexual things that I don't even want to say on the podcast that he like has said to me in person, and it's just like wildly uncomfortable. But he just doesn't see that that's not only weird, like even talking to another person, but weird at work, and it's like really hard to deal with, and it just like makes me uncomfortable to work in that environment. Because like I said, I got that one guy who will talk about like whatever, and mostly it's about school because we're in a lot of the same classes, but the other guy will just bring up, yeah, so life insurance policies, and then just talk about it. And he also judges me a lot for being younger.
Because he's older, right? He's like 30 something.
I think he's closer to his 40s. He judges me a lot, but like I have way more experience in the field than he does. So he's always
You
coming
should
to me for work or for help, which is fine. Like I don't mind helping people at all, but it's just like he'll do that, and then at the same token just be like, yeah, you can't do that. Well, you're doing this because you're young, or like stuff like that. And it's just like,
Dude, you just gotta double down next time he like brings up like something sexual. Just be like, oh yeah, dude, I just shit inside of a mason jar and gave it to my girlfriend because it gets her off.
just push it to the limit.
Like seriously, just say some fucking whack job shit, because like he's not gonna realize that he's saying stupid shit until you push it even further than
You
what
like
he's doing.
go further. Yeah,
Like
it's
just some off the wall thing.
But then he's gonna say he shit in a jar for his girlfriend. He's like, dude, I did that last week. All right, what the fuck are you trying to impress me with?
he's
Like,
called.
Dude,
already
if he
been
said
there.
that, if he said
Spice up
that,
that
I would
marriage.
walk out of the room. I would walk out of the room and just be like, I am not working here anymore. This guy is a literal psychopath.
There's no HR person at your work, right?
No, because it's literally like 6 people. So
Yeah, that makes things a lot more complicated too, because you can't really like.
there's no one I can go to.
You could talk to your boss, I guess, but
Right,
like,
but it's like I only have a month left, and I don't know. It does make me uncomfortable, but I've been like trying to get better at like working at like confronting people about that type of thing. So I guess it's good practice. But it's just like I don't know. It's some of the stuff he says just put you so off guard. You're just like I don't even want to look at him. Like when I get uncomfortable, I don't make eye contact. I don't know if that's most people, but I just like I can't, and I just like a lot of the times I'm literally working, and he'll just be like walk up and just be like, oh, life insurance. And the other thing he'll do is
How long can you talk about life insurance?
25
Like,
minutes. 25 minutes apparently.
Joseph, I've read some policies recently. It is not a simple topic.
No, I understand it's not a simple topic, and like, there's how many like he has the policy, right? Like he's got it. He's not changing it.
No,
apparently he's memorized it.
So,
huh?
But he'll also tell me about like all his other odd jobs he's done and how he's like an expert in this and that. So you can't talk about anything without him being like, oh, I've dabbled in this, and it's just like, I don't know if you're trying to like impress me or you're just trying to like talk about your life. But I don't know, it rubs off the wrong way.
Maybe he's just trying to be a part of the conversation, and he wants to feel like a helpful member of the company. You don't know his life, Gabe.
I don't.
Quit judging him.
Actually,
You're being
He knows a little bit too much.
I
about
know
his
more
life.
than I'd like to.
I'll say this. Gabe's told me some of the shit he said in regards to women. This guy's a piece of garbage. So as far as I can tell, you can fuck off.
He is very.
Gross.
Yes, let's just leave it at that. It's not what you would say to anybody.
On a lighter note, the only coworker I really have to complain about, the only reason I can complain about him is because he reminds me of an exact copy of my roommate from freshman year. And
I was getting worried that you were gonna say
I know,
sophomore year, and I'm just like, oh, come
or
on,
like
man.
even junior year, where it's like one
You're
of
just gonna
us.
freaking pop me
Yeah.
in the nuts right here.
yeah, my fucking second year asshole roommate. No, my first year roommate, who I didn't get along with real well, but like this guy just has a lot of similar mannerisms, and like he's fine. Like I don't hate him, and like it's fine. It just reminds me of my roommate from then, and I just get flashbacks, and I've been working on a project with him, and it's just been really weird for me. Like he doesn't know what's going on, and like
Yeah.
I'd like to think I do a good job of hiding it, but like the way he talks and like the way the phrases he uses, like it just reminds me of it, and like I don't know, it's funny to me for one that like, okay, like here I go again, but like he's obviously a lot better than my roommate freshman year. Like he's a great guy. Like I enjoy talking to him. He's really smart, and like he knows his shit, so like I don't mind. But
Dude, I have this.
in the back of my head, I think he's gonna pull some of the shit that my first year roommate did. And I am not ready for that.
Dude, there's a guy in my pool class that reminds me a lot of my brother, and it drives me
geez.
fucking crazy. And it's specifically my brother with games, because he's a very competitive person. I mean, not that I'm not. Obviously, I'm a competitive person. My brother is like very much like follow these rules type of a deal, and it's a PE pool. Like I'm first off, I'm taking a pool class
Billiards.
in college.
It is billiards.
Yes.
It's not pool. All right.
Whatever. I'm taking.
Get your shit together.
I'm taking
I
a
mean,
pool
it
class
is
at
pool.
a school.
It's
I don't
both.
give a shit about, like, it's just for
Well,
fun.
when you
right?
say sometimes when you say pool, you might think swimming. It's not a swimming class. It's a billiards class. All right.
Whatever. Anyways, the guy we were playing, like he was teaching us like tournament rules, like the teacher, and a lot of them can get pretty confusing pretty quick. But
No slop.
But he will. Yeah, I did learn that
Just
rule.
balls and holes.
No, it's no bullshit, no frills, just balls in
Balls
a cup.
in a cup.
But he would not let rules apply to himself, but apply them to us, and you get like very like adamant about it, and it's just super frustrating to play with. But and he has I think the biggest thing though is like his mannerisms are exactly the same. Like even the way he smiles sometimes, it's like, oh my god.
Dude, it's weird. I met a doppelganger like that in New Zealand. One of the guys I lived with was like he looked very similar and talked the exact same way as one of my friends growing up. He even had one of the same T-shirts he wore one day.
Isn't
I was
it
like, what
weird
the
that there's
fuck?
like patterns like that? It's like there's presets
Yeah.
on humans. Like there's only so many, and that's just how
Dude,
people
it was
act.
it fucking drove me crazy. I'm like, you are this person. Like,
Mhm.
and they were different in some ways, very similar in others, personality-wise. But yeah, it's just fucking weird.
I
when that shit
saw
happens.
someone drink a water bottle like Cooper does the other day, and I was like so confused.
Can you explain that
yeah.
for the audience, Gabe?
How do I do this in an
He
audio
drinks it. He
format?
drinks it out of the corner of his mouth, and he like tips his
tilts
head
it
at like
up.
a weird
He tilts
angle.
the
He doesn't,
bottle up.
Like,
He doesn't move his head when he drinks.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
keeps his head, and he's got a beak of a nose. I hope you're listening, Cooper, because you know it's true.
Also, to be clear, it's like one of those Gatorade water bottles where you pull up the top. It's not like a
Yeah,
a
it's
cup
like
or
a
anything.
sports
It's
cap.
open.
I think is what you're looking
like a
for.
sports cap.
And
Yeah.
he over the corner of his mouth, but he's like, it's like peak laziness, so he can keep scrolling through Reddit or whatever it
So
is.
I've seen him like have his phone out and he's like scrolling while he's drinking water.
And it's like, dude, take a break from your screen for the 2 seconds it takes
Anyways,
to
I
swallow
saw
the
that in
water.
the Mub the other day, and I was like so confused. But yeah, it's super weird seeing people that have those very similar body language cues. It throws me off because you just like
Yeah.
already have conceptions of like who they are from that first person you've met with those
Mhm.
set of, I don't know.
Dane, do you have any coworker pet peeves you want to get off your chest?
no, I really actually enjoy all of my coworkers. I
Is your job
legitimately do
listening?
not. What?
Is your job listening?
No, no, they're not. At least I don't think so. I think they know the name of the podcast, but they don't know.
I mean, we're 57
listen.
minutes deep. Like, they'd really have to.
No, I don't. No, I actually genuinely do enjoy all my coworkers. I get along with all of them pretty well. I do a lot of like extracurricular sports with them. No, but like just like some like their mannerisms though just make me laugh. like seeing like the tiny bits of like awkwardness. Well, okay, sometimes it's more than tiny bits of awkwardness shine
Just like
through.
the STEM,
is-
like,
Yeah,
type of
yeah, just
okay.
you know, it's an office full of engineers. Like, there's gonna be some awkwardness,
Yeah.
and like,
Yeah.
I've let it like affect me. Like sometimes they're being like awkward, and I'm just like,
It throws you off.
ooh, and, like, I'm like just trying to like sink back into my chair. Like, there was this one time like this guy that I work with. He's not in my group or anything. And he made this comment, and like on a telecon, and he was just like, oh yeah, make sure to get the same flights back home or something like that, like from a meeting. And literally everyone went silent and no one said a thing, and I was just like, ooh, like, and then he didn't say a thing for like 10 seconds. So it was 10 seconds on a telecon that was just pure silence, and I'm just like, oh god, like,
Dude, conference call etiquette is so fucking weird. Because I've been on a lot of them recently at work, and it is bizarre. You can't see anybody.
Mhm.
Everyone's listening, but like somebody has to take charge of that call, or else it's gonna be a ton of awkward silences.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
like somebody has to be moving it along, and it's. I hate conference
Well,
calls.
that's
They're
what
so
like
fucking
makes
awkward.
phone interviews so awkward, or like even phone calls in general. There's so much, I don't know. There's space because you have to wait for it to go across. But 10
I don't mind
seconds.
phone calls because like
I don't
if
know.
it's only two people, it's not as bad. But when there's multiple people, it's like who's supposed to talk?
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like if you like pose a question and like nobody answers, and nobody like wants to answer it. You know, it's like
Yeah, you need that eye contact where like you can tell somebody's about to talk, or like that body language.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of conference calls.
I don't know. I've
But-
gotten more used to them just because I mean it's a necessary thing for my job, but
Yeah.
I definitely was not a fan of them when I started.
Yeah, it seems
I've-
like at least for like me and Gabe, like from what I've kind of drawn some trends. Like for me, I've noticed like age is a big issue for me recently with like connecting with people. Like the more difference in age there is, the harder it is for me to connect. Like today, I was trying to talk to one of my coworkers about like TV shows, and he was bringing up all these shows from like back in the day. He's like, oh, you gotta watch this, gotta watch this. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch those shows. Like they're fucking old. Like I'm sorry, like, I'm just not gonna do it. And he's like, oh, you know, like things are the best back when I was younger. I'm like, they're not though. Like we're like in the golden age of television, and like I can't express myself how I am because they just won't get it. You know, it's like people who aren't like, because I'm very much like in pop culture, right? Like that's a lot of like my interest, my personality is drawn from that. So it's really hard for me to talk to people who are like 60 and have no idea what's going on, you know, in pop culture, you know. So it's like it's difficult for me to like connect with them, and I try to be nice, you know, and just be like, oh yeah, haha, you know, this and that, but it's like, and it's just difficult.
I think that's
sometimes.
with like any people, regardless of coworkers. It's just you're forced to interact with those people more, you know.
Yeah.
Like your day-to-day life.
Exactly.
I mean, outside of work, I doubt that you interact with many 60-year-olds that aren't in your family, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like one of those things where you just literally were brought up in a different time, so it's gonna be pretty hard.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think like the big thing is like the personality for me. It's like, I don't know. I like talking to an extent, but you got to be able to read when someone's not interested in the conversation, you know. I mean, there's times where I'm talking, I'm like, oh, this person wants to be left alone, so you leave them alone. But some people don't have that cue, you know. And
I've noticed, I guess, back like if someone is your senior in age, I feel like they don't pick up on those signals as well. In my personal experience, they're like, I'm gonna keep talking because I'm interesting, and meanwhile I'm sitting there like, I don't want to be here. Like, can I leave this conversation, please?
all right.
You know? I just noticed some like often that happens when the person's older than me by a decent chunk.
Yeah. No, definitely with like really old people, because they just don't have a lot of people to talk to. So once they find someone, they kind of latch on. I noticed that like I noticed that with work, because a lot of the times I'll like go on site to like their business or even their house sometimes, or even I'll come up to the front, and if they have a computer problem, and they'll just like start telling me random facts. The other day, my coworker, he walks up to help someone, and he comes back and he's like, well, I already learned he went to Vietnam and he's got 2 kids. And it was literally 30 seconds. And he like grabbed a screwdriver. I'm like, good luck, bud. He comes back a minute later and he's like, hey, did you know that he worked with the pioneers of the internet? And just, you know, the guy just, you know, is going off about, you know, his personal experience or whatever. And the other day, even I was like installing some computers for a business, and the one lady was like, yeah, I don't really want to use these. Like, they've never used computers in their workplace before. And then she was like, she's like, I just don't want to use it. And then she starts like going into her kids and how all of her kids are all over or whatever. I think it just, I don't know. It's hard to relate to that, you know? Or like a lot of my personality is like understanding technology and understanding how it works, and then you got these people who are coming in because they literally don't understand it. You don't have a lot of things to talk about.
One of my coworkers pulled his phone out of his pocket today, and the flash has been on for like the last few hours. It's like,
What makes your phone so warm?
Like, come on, man.
It's so funny.
Joseph, you're dying.
Joseph's dying over there.
I'm just imagining. Oh, I should look at the flash is on.
It's like, how long has it been like that?
What did he need the flash on for? To be like, was he looking for something like his car keys in the
He
morning?
probably turned it on an accident. I mean,
Oh my God.
it's also like the text on his screen is like as big as it can possibly be. Like he has to scroll for every single like 3 lines of text that are on there. It's like, I mean, I get it, dude. I know your eye is going to get older. It's just, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that I have anything against them. I just think it's hard to relate to someone who like their expectations of how conversation works. They were brought up completely different than how we were brought up how conversation works. Like I think it just fundamentally works a lot different, and it's like it's hard to.
It's that, and also the interests are just different.
Yeah, and that too. Like, you know, you're gonna have completely different experiences. Like some of people that you're talking to are almost 3 times your age. Like they're going to have a lot more life experience of, you know, different things that you may not have even thought of being interesting at all, you know, and just trying to find that connection. I've been trying to get better at, like, talking to random people and, like, trying to have conversations with them. And I, like, didn't expect it to be as hard as it is. But it's pretty difficult sometimes to, like, find some common ground to talk about with people.
Well, one thing you always hear is like listen to your elders because they've obviously lived for a long time. They have a lot of experience. Like they know a lot of shit. It's like obviously that's true. Like I don't deny that in any case. But sometimes it feels like the experiences they have or they've had and like the hardships they face just aren't problems anymore.
Right.
Like in society. So it's like I understand that was like you went through that and stuff, and like I appreciate it, but it's also like I will never have to go through that
Yeah.
just because the way the society and technology have advanced.
Well, and
Um,
there's definitely some side of ageism on both sides where like young people are like,
okay,
this is
boomer.
yeah, exactly. This is not pertinent to my life ever, and it never will be. And then there's like the older people where it's like, you should be listening to me. You know, you're just so naive. You're gonna make this mistake or whatever type of a thing. It goes
There's
both
the
ways.
assumption. I say there's the assumption on both sides that because I'm old, I'm smart, and there's the assumption that because you're young, you're dumb.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And like,
And
and vice versa, where
Right.
it's like because I'm young, like I can learn things better, and because you're old,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
You're set in your ways.
Yeah, you're set in your ways, and so like there's the assumptions on both sides, and
Right. Well, and I've definitely been judged just going to other places like to fix computers based on my age. Like a lot of I mean, I've had people that are like older and completely respect it, and then I've had people who completely are like, "Well, you're young. How would you know this?" And it's just like, I mean, I don't know. Like I just know it. Like you gotta trust me that I know this. You're paying me to do this, so it's, you know.
Well, it's
one
like
of
what I
those
talked about a couple podcasts ago, where it's like back in the day they didn't have Google Maps. They had to know how to get everywhere, and now you don't need to know directions. And I'm very bad at directions. But like I was telling like I was going to this place, and my boss literally told me every single turn to get there. And it's like I have a phone, I can get there just fine. Like you don't need to tell me the step-by-step directions, you know?
Right.
well, that was the thing is you had to learn things through experience. That was the only way to really like, other than like an encyclopedia and things people told
now
you.
you can just Google it.
Yeah, now you have all the information you are probably ever going to need right at your fingertips. You just need to know to look for it and to absorb it, really.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's that disconnect of thinking, you know, where before, if you didn't experience it, you didn't really know it. And now, like,
now you can know anything.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, there's a
with the
different
time and effort. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like obviously there's a different level of knowledge between watching a YouTube video and reading an article versus like actually, you know, making a cocktail, for example, or, you know,
Ooh, bringing it full
whatever it
circle. I
is.
like it.
Yeah, like that. Or like, you know, woodworking or, you know, any number of, you know, DIY projects. I can watch as many videos as I have time in the day, right? But that doesn't mean I'm going to know really how to do it. But also, I'm going to know better than if I hadn't done it at all.
Yeah.
You know, hadn't watched the videos or read up on it at all. So,
Weird balance.
As they say, the times they are a changin'. And with that, that's the end of our episode. Thanks for listening to the Engineers Without Filters podcast. Again, you can find us every Monday on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. And you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at EWF Podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.